We are live. Let's see if it's picking up the audio. There we go. We are live. Let's see if it's picking up the audio. Yep, sounds good. I'll turn up my mic just in case. So we're here with Skitra. Um, Technically a two-phase encounter that's going to repeat. I'm going to expand this. So for tanks, you have your Shadow Shock. It's whatever. Just some damage that goes out. The Before I actually go into it, so this is the boss room here, and this is kind of just where the boss spawns. We just want to loose spread behind the boss, but like almost stack up in a way. The only reason I have it loose spread is because it doesn't technically have to be a stack, but like imagine this being just like one healing rain or something like that, or Druid Circle or whatever. So we all kind of want to be in there. Okay, so the main mechanic in this encounter is this debuff that the boss will put on you. And the debuff is either going to be Clouded Mind or Twisted Mind. So if you have like a 20, let's say 30-man raid, 15 of the raid is going to be clouded, 15 is going to be twisted. And that's important because you only be able to see these debuffs in P2. So for now, it's not a big deal in this first phase. You just get this and that's it. Now, this illusionary projection here, this is technically P2, and I didn't separate it because there's very little mechanics in that phase. So, I'll just go over the whole thing first. So there's going to be projections that the boss will put around the room. I think there's 6 of them. Don't hold me to that though. And each debuff player can see all of they will get their own set of ads that they see. So the ads will spawn around the room, and each of these debuffs will see different sets of ads, except for one that will be the same. And you need to communicate with the other group of people which ad that you both can see, and then kill the ad before the phase ends, because they'll be consistently doing this damage to you throughout the phase, and eventually it'll become unhealable. And if you kill the wrong one, then it just basically kills you all. Also in this phase, there's going to be like, what's that fight called? Coven of it's an Antorus. Coven of now I'm gonna beat myself up for this. Coven of Shavara, where there's going to be ads that come across the room that each group can see. Unlike Coven, where if you hit one, you'll just like die. These are way easier to dodge, and you can CC them or just move as a group. And it'll go from there. And it won't even, per the dungeon journal, it won't even kill you. I mean, you'll get close to death, and you might get comboed out with a tick or something. But it's way more forgiving. And you can't do damage to them. So, I mean, like, sure, CC works, but you can't just kill them or whatever. Again, it just does a lot of damage to you. So back into P1, so this is technically intermission here, but this is the normal phase. And a player is going to be affected by a debuff. You want to move the debuff out of the raid, probably like 15 yards. You want to drop it, and an ad's going to spawn. and then you basically just kill the ad. It starts doing pulsing AoE damage. Um, Probably some kind of healing cooldown or something here. Unsure. When we did testing, it really wasn't that dangerous. The healing cooldowns, I mean, like it was dangerous with a big raid size, but once some people died, it became really easy. So I don't know what the balancing is going to be, but either cooldowns in intermission or here, or both. Unsure. So before I talk about the mythic mechanic, which I arguably think makes the fight easier, if you look at the heroic, this is going to be a sequence of the mechanics coming in. So they already did, this is another pool, so they're in the middle of a pool right now. And basically, see how they're all just kind of stacked up in the healing right there, the ads that I was talking about, so they just came out of intermission. Alright, so they actually did a really bad job here. They just dropped it in the raid group. So testing was bugged, but what this player had to do is they should have moved out and dropped it. Because of this here. So you need to get away and drop it. But again, it could have been just bugged in heroic, and then you kill it. So everyone in the raid's really hitting it here, and you can realistically want to drag the boss over. Just like they're doing. So like what we would do is, if player gets it, they move over here, drop, or move over here and drop. And that's it. I mean, if the boss is over here, same situation, just move 15 meters away and they can drag the boss over. That ad does. Okay, here we go. He gets the debuff, he's out. This is correct. So this is exactly what I want. He gets the debuff, he gets out. He's not being able to, there he goes. But everyone should come over and they should meet the boss. Perfect. This is exactly what I want to happen in our raid. I want to see how they get an intermission here. So these are the ads. Like, they're really not an issue. They can come in the middle of the room, but just move out of the way. They've got 1 health, but you can't damage them for 30 seconds. So they're trying to locate the ad that they share. And they're probably like scrambling and callouts right now, but I think they're gonna get lucky and it's gonna be mid, because it could be any of them. So they do get lucky. Now, it could literally be any of these ads across the room. And also, like, this is older testing. So in recent testing, the ads were way closer. So it'd be like here, 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 here. Like, they were way closer to the mid. Like, they were not that far out. So there's a few things you can do in intermission. This just might have to be a situation where someone needs to just figure it out, or you have to figure it out on patch day, or when raid release comes out. But so what we did in heroic is I marked literally all the spots. So I would just marker over here. I'd run around the room and mark everything. So there's some pros and cons to that. The pros are my markers are exactly on the ad, and I'm very fast to do it. Like, it's pretty obvious. Like, both groups can be like, I put a marker down, okay, I see X, I don't see X. The cons of that is it can take a long time. I have to run around, or someone has to run around and mark with a macro, everything, and then both groups need to communicate. So that's what we did in testing. Option two is some kind of weak aura might be created. There was a weak aura. Blizzard broke it. You just look at the ad and it would like determine like if you have this debuff and the ad is at these coordinates, then and the other person has a debuff and it adds at these coordinates, then it display this ad or whatever. Um, but Blizzard broke that, so unsure. I'm doubtful that something will work like that. Third idea that was brought to me is you'll have one set of the debuff people basically just run around and attack all the ads. And the other set of debuff people eventually will be like, oh, well, this ad that I'm not attacking is taking damage. So you know that that's the shared ad. So like we'd have like the Twisted Mind group hit everything, and whatever the Clouded Mind group sees as being hit is the right ad. So that idea kind of seems pretty solid. It seems better than the marking strategy, but who knows, something else can come out, or a weak aura could just exist that would make it free. So just to go over the mythic mechanic, shared psyche. So in heroic, this mechanic happens at the beginning of the fight. So, and it's this. Sorry, not at the beginning of the fight. It happens at intermission. So this is heroic, a normal. In mythic, it just happens at the beginning of the fight. So the reason I say it potentially makes it easier is because instead of just getting the intermission, figuring out who's in what debuff, you kind of know that already before the intermission. The difference that this makes in the other phase is like if someone gets um, the debuff that they have to run out of the raid right here. So like if a clouded person gets this debuff, only the clouded people can hit the ad. So you have 50% less damage on these ads when they're like doing a ton of damage per tick. So it's just going to cause more priority targeting. But at the same time, like, and then the other group can't cleave them at all. So it's kind of reducing the damage you totally have on those ads, but it's not a huge deal. I think the fight mechanically becomes easier if heroic and mythic is the same and this is the only difference. Now obviously they can just like make more of the illusion ads run at you in mythic and that'll make it harder. But that's the difference. Trying to think if there's anything else, but it seems it's a really simple encounter once you understand that 2 debuffs, you need to find which ad is the same, have the discipline not to hit anything in intermission if you have a certain debuff, and let people communicate. And then that's all there is to it. So that's Prophet Skitra. I will be back later with another boss. All right, peace.